This is lesson 7.2, chapter 7, solving equations using addition or subtraction. One of the very important lessons where I want you to learn the process, because this is what you'll be using from now on till you finish high school. A solution of an equation is a value that makes the equation true. This is important piece of solving equations because this tells you if your solution, or when we say solution we just mean that your answer to the problem, so the solution or answer is correct. That's all we are doing. Is your answer correct? So one thing you need to remember is this sign means equal to. We are all familiar with this, but this sign with the two lines and a line, another line going through it, means not equal to. You have to know this because you'll be using that quite a lot this lesson and from now on. Okay, so let's do the first piece of this, which is checking solutions. All we are learning now is to see, okay, is the given value an answer to the problem? That's all. And we've done this before. Remember how in expressions, if they gave you x plus 3 and then they said x is equal to 2, then you substituted the 2 for the x? That's what we are doing. But in this case, we are also trying to see if that value is the actual answer. All right, let's see. In this it says t minus 5 equals 17, and they've said that t has the t has a value of 12. Okay, let's substitute. This is your first step. I have to see it written like this on your sheets. 12 minus 5 equals, keep this equal to sign just like that right there, 17. This is the answer that they've given you. What is 12 minus 5? Look, I'm going to sort of make an invisible line here, and I keep everything that I do on this side. I keep it this side of the line, and this is just the answer they have given me. I'm going to bring it down every time. 12 minus 5 is 7. What they've given me is equal to 17. Now, is 7 equal to 17? No. That's why we put a nice big line in the middle. Remember, this means not equal to. So 7 is not equal to 17, so no, this is not a solution. Let's move on to the next one. Same thing, they've said that m divided by 6 is 8 and m is equal to 48. Substitute. First you will substitute. So 48 divided by 6, and this value is what they have given me. That's that value coming down. Let me solve this part of the equation. 48 divided by 6 is 8. Is 8 equal to the 8 that they have given me? Yes, it is. So yes, this is a solution. I want you to go ahead and finish 3 and 4 just like I showed you here, and then we'll move on to the next part. Okay, now let's go to solving equations. Inverse operations. This is some notes, so let's go ahead and take it. Inverse operations are used to solve equations. And basically inverse operations means that they undo each other. Addition and subtraction are supposed to be inverse operations because what you can add, you can undo by subtracting the same amount. And multiplication and division are inverse operations because what you can do by multiplying, you can undo by dividing. Let me sort of jog your memory. Remember these fact triangles that you did in elementary school, and with the addition or subtraction you had 5 here, and then you had 2 and 3, and then 2 plus 3 is 5, or 5 minus 2, and so on and so forth. In the same way you had a multiplication right here, and then let's say you had a 20, so that made it 4 times 5, or you could do 4 times 5 is 20, or you could do 20 divided by 4, or 20 divided by 5 is 4. So that's what we are talking about. Okay. Alright, there are some rules to remember when solving any equation. Now remember these rules from now till whenever you solve equations. It's going to help you always. First thing we remember is to isolate the variable. That means that we have to get the variable by itself. There should be nothing else on that side of the equation other than the variable. Use the opposite or inverse operation. We just learned about this. To undo or eliminate the terms with the variable. Now, this is again really important. Whatever you do to one side of the equation, you have to, you don't have a choice here, you have to do to the other side of the equation. Remember, like equivalent fractions, what you do to numerator you have to do to denominator, and so on, and vice versa. And the last one, but not the least, is always to check your answer by substituting the value back into the original equation. And this is what we just did by when we said checking solutions. Now that we know how to now that we know the rules for solving equations, let's go ahead and actually solve some of the equations. Alright, it says solve equations either using addition, or in this case addition, and then it's asking us to check our solution. You have to do the process, and that's why it's important. Again, if you don't do the process right, then I'm going to ask you to repeat it till you get the process right. Now, some of you might learn these differently at home. That's okay with me, whatever the process is, because your parents might teach you at home. That's okay, but you have to show it to me, and it should work consistently every time. That's all I'm looking for. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. Now, my goal here is to, remember, isolate the variable. So I have to get x by itself. So I have to have something like x equal to. Well, how do I do that? I have something attached to the x, and that's that minus 8 right there. So I have to make sure that I get rid of it. How do I do it? Look, this is a subtraction sign, so I'm going to undo it by doing a addition sign. I'm going to do plus 8 on this side. Now, you know that a minus 8 and a plus 8 gives you a 0. Okay, but remember the other rule which says that whatever you do to one side of the equation, you have to do on the other side of the equation also. So I did plus 8. Now I'm going to make that line there to just show you that you have to keep these two separately with the equal to sign right there. Alright, add 8 here. Now this becomes a 0. You can just cross them out. What is left over? I have a x coming down, I have this equal to sign coming down, and then 14 plus 8 is 22. Alright, now I've gotten my answer, x equals 22. Let me go and check the solution. So I write down my actual problem. You have to show the step. I'm going to write the 22 that I got, take away 8 equals, it should be equal to 14. Solve this. 22 minus 8, is that 14? Yes, 14 equals 14, and yes, so it checked. That is the solution. Let's do one more. Now if you look here, it says 11 equals y minus 4. Now you can rewrite it as y minus 4 equals 11. For some reason many students find that that's easier. Let's keep it that way. Now again, I have to get the y by itself. So this y I have to isolate. So how do I do it? I have a subtraction sign right here. This is the subtraction sign. So I undo it by adding 4 on both sides of the equation. Do that line. Again, remember this equal to comes straight down. I have to see it that way. And then plus, take away, minus 4 plus 4. This becomes a 0. So cross that out. And what's remaining is y equals 11 plus 4 is 15. So this is what I got. Let's see if our answer is correct. Go ahead and check the solution. This is the actual equation they've given me. This is what I got. 15 minus 4 equals, should be equal to the 11 that they have given me. Is 15 minus 4 11? Yes, 11 equals 11. Correct. That's the solution. I want you to go ahead and finish 3 and 4 in this. Let's do solving equations using subtraction. It's the same process, except that you are going to use subtraction to undo because you have an addition here. We're going to use subtraction, and then we are going to check the solution. In this, they have said that m plus 5 equals 14. Now what's happening between the m and the 5? It's addition. So how do I undo an addition? I'm going to subtract a 5. If I do it on this side, I have to do it on that side. Put a line there. These become 0. This m comes down. The equal to sign comes down. What is 14 take away 5? A 9. Okay, this is my final answer. Let's see if it makes sense or if my answer is correct. Okay, rewrite it. M plus 5 equals 14. 9 plus 5 equals 14. What is 9 plus 5? This 14. 14 equals 14. Yes, my problem is correct. One more. Again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to rewrite it as r plus 6 equals 18, just because it makes it, everything is on the same side, it's on the left side, it's easier that way for me. Again, look, this is a plus sign, so how do I undo an addition? I subtract 6. If I subtract 6 on the left side of the equation, I have to subtract 6 on the right side of the equation also. Go ahead and do it. These two become a 0 because plus 6 and a minus 6. What's left over? R. Bring the equal to sign down. 18 minus 6 is 12. Go back, check your solution. Write down the actual equation that they have given you, actual problem. Substitute the answer that you got. Bring this 18 down just like that. This is what you're solving, 18. You got it? Which is equal to the 18 that they've given you. So our answers match up. Alright, go ahead and finish the rest of the two problems. If you notice, 8 has 4/5. There is no difference. This is just a fraction. It's the same process. Okay. Alright. Okay, let's do the last two story problems. There might be a few ways to do this, but I'm going to show you one of the ways. In this case, you have to write the equation and solve the equation. That's the key. All right, let's look at it. A jacket is on sale for $10 off. You have a coupon which is worth $5.80, and so it brings the cost down. So this brings the cost of the jacket down to $33.19. They're asking us to write and solve an equation to find the actual cost. Okay, so let's say I don't know the cost, that is the C, and from that my total discount, and look, my total discount. So from this cost I have to take away the total discount, which is 10 plus $5.80. This is the equation form. You've done these before. Now we are just putting it in a formal equation form, 3319. Okay, now go ahead and solve it. C, take away, remember, order of operations, I have to add this. So that gives me $15.80 equals 33.19. Again, this is a subtraction problem, so I undo the $15.80 by adding $15.18 on both sides. I end up with, this becomes a 0, this remains a C equals, and I end up with $48.99. Okay, so cost of jacket before discount is $48.99. Alright, I want you to go ahead and finish 10 by yourself, and I'll see you next class.